Since 1998, Notre Dame has lost all 6 of its BCS and New Year's Six bowl games, most recently to Clemson in the 2018 Cotton Bowl. Now, the Fighting Irish have been outscored by 144 points during that span. Yet, here is Brian Kelly on what they have to prove.
And we're knocking at the door every year, playing really good teams and great opponents, and there's elite football teams. I don't know why this narrative continues to pop up when we're always in the games. No, we haven't won a national championship. That's correct. I'm not changing the record, but we are there every single year, and we are grinding it out just like everybody else.
Let's welcome in Paul Finebaum and Joey Galloway. Paul, what is your reaction to Brian Kelly's comments?
Well, I mean, not only has Notre Dame not won a national championship, they haven't even competed in these games, and I think that's really the issue here, Ryan. But Brian Kelly is trying to lower the expectations even lower than they already are. Most people think Alabama is going to completely eviscerate them Friday afternoon, and I don't know how you could argue at that point. He's trying to bake into the cake. Listen, we're a great program. We're Notre Dame. We're in the playoffs every year or two. We just can't win the big one, so don't blame me and don't blame my players. I mean, it's a crazy approach, but he's just trying to keep his team calm before they walk into the slaughter Friday afternoon.
It's astounding to me if he's actually thinking that way. The idea of, don't worry, guys, we're still good no matter what. So, Joey, it makes me think, to Brian Kelly's point, do we hold Notre Dame to an unfair standard on the other side of that?
I don't think it's an unfair standard. People just want to see the 4 best teams in the country, and they want to see good games when they get to the college football playoff. And if they're not good games, then the question always arises, did you deserve to be there? Now, I do believe that Notre Dame is one of the 4 best teams in the country, and I believe they have been, in recent years when they get into the playoff. And so I don't look at the end result and say, well, they didn't deserve to be there. They've absolutely earned their right to be there the way they've played this season. I think this is a better football team than we've seen in recent years. Unfortunately for Notre Dame, they're going against a ridiculously good offense in Alabama. So it's going to be tough.
All right, so what has to happen, Joey, for Notre Dame to beat Alabama in this game?
Notre Dame has to run the ball well. If you look at the first time when they played Clemson, when they won the game, Kyron Williams had 140 yards rushing. And then the second time when they lost, he had like 50 yards rushing. Then the problem there is not just the yards, but it's the way their offense works. They're much better when they run the ball well. They can then go play action pass, and it makes Ian Book a much better quarterback. You play Alabama defense, they want to rush 3 and play 8 deep in coverage. And the way you get them out of that coverage, out of that defense, is to run the ball at them. Not to mention running the ball keeps Mac Jones and Devontae Smith and Najee Harris, all those guys on the sideline. And it sort of takes some time off the clock and doesn't let that high-powered Alabama offense just control the game.
Okay, and it wouldn't hurt for Ian Book to have a great game. Paul, what's your reaction?
I mean, I think Joey laid it out. I think they're going to need more than that, Ryan. I think they're going to need a miracle. And Notre Dame is capable of that based on its connections in the world. But beyond that, and I don't mean to be dismissive of what Brian Kelly has accomplished. They've had a fantastic season, and they are one of the 4 best teams, but they're nowhere close to where Alabama is right now. Is anyone, is the question.
Yeah, it's going to be an uphill task, but you never know. I know it's been bad for Notre Dame, but you never know what can happen, guys.